Hey everybody, wanted to show you guys a new feature I've been working on with the deck builder. It's called practice mode or goldfish mode, and it's taken from the term goldfishing. It's when somebody shuffles up their deck and they start playing by themselves. They become a little goldfish in their own world. So to use this feature, you can go to the community decks page on RedemptionCCG.App, and then all the public decks will have this available. So if you really want to see what E-Man's been cooking up, you can click this play button here, and this will open up the cave where you're playing Redemption. And the aesthetic I'm going for here is kind of leaning into Redemption's history and biblical manuscripts. Kind of is trying to harp on the Dead Sea Scrolls, where you go into this cave in the desert of ancient Israel and you find these texts, this cache of things. You're reliving the ancient experience and entering into a different world altogether. So it's not as immersive as Rest's app at all, but that was kind of the vibe of going for here. Just kind of dusty, dirty, but place where you can just work on your deck. So let's go and talk about all the features here. So each card, you can hover over it after about like 0.4, 0.7 milliseconds. It'll give a bigger card preview. You can also click and drag cards to different zones. You can also right click and add different types of counters with different colors. They don't really have a meaning right now, but if it's like signifies you want to paralyze him. So to increment the counter, you left click, and decrease the counter, you right click. You also have the option to make meek, and that's a shortcut by just double clicking. And if you double click, you can also see the upside down version. So this is useful when dealing with cards like Zacchaeus or Condemned Thief. You'll be able to actually read them for the first time ever. You have the turn face down for artifacts. Oops, looks like I have to fix that bug. But yeah, you should be able to turn face down and then drag them. But yeah, I have a little bug to fix there. And then you can have these different move options. Move to top of deck, bottom deck, shuffle into deck, discard, and reserve. And you can also move cards to their different zones by just clicking and dragging. This is a new feature added tonight, actually, after I got frustrated of not being able to select multiple cards and drag them around. So yeah, you can click and drag, put them in there. The discard pile's a little messy. That's intentional. It's like, yeah, this is the discard. And you can click the zone and see different cards. And you have all those options. You can click and select there, move these around. I really like how that feature worked out. And every time you draw a lost soul, notice how it'll just go straight into the land of bondage. So yeah, so I just drew a humble. It just went there right away. And the hand has this kind of fan state. It's meant to like simulate what what a typical hand looks like. And if you don't like that, if you're not a fan of the fan, you can click the unfan button, which makes it a little bit more traditional. And yeah, you can like organize your cards here if you want. I'm not gonna have big rules about that here in the deck builder. Probably could use a better experience though as far as organizing, because this card seems to be on the top and this card seems to be on the bottom. So if we wanted things to behave like the most recent card you drag would always be on the top. See how Begna goes on the top here. If I click that, and that works nicely for bandings, chains, and things like that. So anyways, there should be some little cleanup there. What else do I want to talk about? So this little cave is meant to simulate openings. So if you're E-Man, you're wanting to see how consistently you can get to a good Daniel band on turn one, this could be useful. So I'm going to start a new game, clicking that new game button. It's really fast, so you could do a lot of new games. So if I'm E-Man, I'm like, oh man, let me see this Ancient of Days. So let's look at this card. This card says reveal the top 3 cards of deck, take up to 3 Daniel cards, underdeck the rest. If you get at least one, repeat up to 2 times. So if you're trying to get a feeling of what this is. So I'm going to right click the deck. Man, sorry, that's you can't see that if big fat head's in the way. So I'm going to right click the deck, and it comes up with a menu. First one, search deck. Let's take a look there. And this has a list of all the decks, and you can search by any sort of text field. So if you're wanting to search for a specific card, you can type in Daniel the Treasured, and it'll show up. If you want to type in the name of an identifier, you can type in demon. So this has all the data there. If you want to be more granular, you can certainly switch this, but the default is going to be the most flexible and least frustrating. And it has that also. You can click and drag and move cards around to different zones here. And let's put these back in the deck. Oops. shuffle in. So notice how every time every time I move something to the deck, a little menu opens up. So I'm gonna draw a card. I'm gonna do Command D, and then I'm gonna put a card in the deck, and we'll show that. So I'm gonna do Command D, drag it to my deck. Gives us a little option. Do I want to shuffle it in top of deck or bottom of deck? So I'll shuffle that in. So let's continue. So there's that draw. I'll probably add a helper text to do like Control D or Command D. You can draw in, and this little in is like a variable. So it's like, how many do you want to draw? Maybe I should use X because that's what all Redemption uses, is like draw X. So I'll probably change that to draw X. So it's like, by default it's draw 3, you can draw 8. So let's say you have a big Matthew and you want to draw 8 cards, you can do that. So I don't want to do that. And then you have another menu, so you can go to top card, and it has the draw, reveal, discard, reserve. So like, let's say there's an Egyptian deck I'm playing, and they discard the top card. Like, oh dang. But you can also do discard, and you select that in there. It'd probably change it to X, but it'll like discard the top 5. Put all that. I need to add a rule to if there's a lost soul that is discarded, it should hit the land of bondage. But anyways, shuffle those in. Way to select the discard pile, but I'm sure you're probably not dragging all cards in your discard pile into your deck very often, so I probably don't need to implement that feature. But anyways, so that menu's there for the top, bottom, and also random cards. So sometimes in Redemption you need to like discard a random card from your deck. You can do that with that easily. Boom. So yeah, anyways, back to resolving Ancient of Days. We need to do the top 3 reveals. So we're going to do there, top card, reveal. Oops. Yeah, I need to get used to this myself. Top card, reveal, in 3, go. And so we saw 2 Daniel cards. So we're going to put those into play and drag to a zone, drag to the deck, put on bottom of deck. So we're going to do that again, top card, reveal. It's a little tedious, I admit, but the functionality is all there. I think that's the important part. I think I need to add the click and drag manipulation of cards here too, or add like a menu of like send these cards to bottom of deck, kind of how Lackey does. So I could probably take some notes there. But anyways, it's basically functional. The Ancient of Days is a little harder to resolve here than on Lackey. Obviously, you can move souls to Land of Redemption. You can, all these numbers in the right hand corner, they help you keep track of how many cards are in the zone. So if you want to see board advantage, that's easy. If you want to see how many cards are in your reserve, that's also easy. Is there anything else I want to mention? Here we have the automatic phase tracker. So if you're really like trying to be professional and say, oh, this is my draw step, this is my upkeep, this is my prep, blah, blah, blah. Getting that big practice. And you can also use the arrows to move. And then you can also click the next phase if you're in your discard, and it'll go to your draw step, and you'll draw 3 cards automatically. Or each time you end your turn, it'll just like go to the next draw step. And when you get to 16 cards in hand, it's not going to let you draw anymore. It knows about the hand limit. So if you try to go like draw 3, hand is full, drew 1. So it knows like you can't ever draw more than 16. And let's say you're done, or you're gold fishing. You want to edit your deck. If you click the RedemptionCCG.App little icon up here, you'll go back to the website. And if you're working on a deck that you've built, let's open up one I've been working on, the Jephthah Paragon. So like, let's say you need to tweak this and you click this. If this is a deck that you own, it's going to take you right back to the editor. Make that really easy to make those changes. So it's like, oh, I want to add something, alter burnt offering, that, and then let's play. Now we have the new version of the deck that has the alter burnt offering. Maybe I have to save the deck before I do that. Did I draw it in my opening? Yeah, so I think I have to save it before. So let's go back here. You have the Paragon, add the alter, save the deck, and then press play, and yeah, then the alter's in there. Okay, so yeah, just trying to make the feedback loops for you guys pretty easy to use. Man, it's really fun. Oops, I forgot to save it again. So maybe I should add a feature where it saves your deck before you practice, so it'll pick up the latest changes. So the cool thing about this, guys, is like I'm using this too. So if there's any problems, like I'm running into them and I notice them and I can fix them proactively. It's called dog fooding in the world of software, where you have to use what you wrote, and I like it. Makes me vigilant. But if there's any features you want to see with the Goldfish, if there's anything that's frustrating, or if you notice any bugs, reach out to me on Discord, or if you know how to use GitHub. There's a report a bug, and you can go file an issue on GitHub. Have my GitHub open. You can create a new issue with screenshots and whatever. And if you're curious, you want to look at the source code that's all public, open source, you can take a look at the repository here. So anyways, that's all I wanted to share. Thanks for watching, you guys, and enjoy the Goldfish.
It's you. acid.